everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks, because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And today is Wednesday, and I want to thank everybody for showing up to the stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are going to have a good time today, because I'm telling you, the media just cannot stop. And at this point, I think they're definitely not only Trump deranged, but Trump obsessed. I don't know why. Anywho, we're going to get into the upset of the Democratic candidate from last night, okay? Screaming Jay Hawkins, all right? If you don't know, that is AFTYN BEHN, okay, down there in Tennessee, all right? She lost, okay? All that screaming she did, and she still lost. So we're going to get into that. We are going to get into a little bit of Ratchet Crockett, okay? She also lost, okay? Well, she's not running yet, all right? But it doesn't look good for her. Okay, the polling numbers are low, very low. But we're going to get into that as well. Thank you to everybody that's pulling up in the chat. We're going to get into a lot of things today. We're going to get into a little bit of some of the trucker issues, okay, the CDL issues. We're definitely going to get into the Somalis, okay, because Trump has gotten the Somalis and Ilhan Omar, whatever her name is, I don't know how to pronounce it, but got a lot of them riled up. So we're going to get into all of that, okay? So thank you again, you guys, for pulling up. I appreciate it. What's going on, everybody in the chat? Okay, I see y'all. Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. All right, and we're gonna get into a little bit of sports too, because you know, I like my football. I love my football. And if you guys don't know, this show called The Game was out when I was younger, right? And I used to watch it all the time, right? And it was about, you know, football and the football wives. Well, one of these football wives today is a little bit like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get into our shots, okay? And if you don't know what shots are, if you're new to the show, okay, shots are where we like to talk about a little bit of the story, but maybe it's not worth a deep dive. So we just pour a shot, okay? We're going to pour it up today about Dylan Gabriel and Milagro GRAMZ, okay? Because Milagro has did a small interview, and I want to go ahead and, you know, acknowledge that and see what she's talking about. So you guys, thank you all for pulling up. I see everybody in the chat. Thank you all for supporting. Thank you, Mike, that dude on Cash App. You guys always support even before, you know, I actually get, you know, I get on. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. So while we're letting everybody get in, I'm going to go ahead and start with shots. And you guys, thank you. Share the stream, like the stream, and let's get started. So what I want to start with is breaking news here in Maryland. So if you guys don't know, out here in Maryland, we have something called the National Harbor. It sits right on the Potomac. It sits right in between DC and Maryland. Like I said, right on the Potomac River, right? Today, they had a shooting, and I want to get into that because it's at the MGM, and that is like a major casino here. So I want to go ahead and get into that, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Here we go.
Was ordering food. The suspect appeared and immediately.
And is dead after a shooting inside the MGM Grand Casino.
Police say the suspected shooter is still at large. It happened just before noon at the casino's food court. Investigators say this was a targeted shooting, but there was no prior interaction between the suspect and the victim before those deadly shots were fired.
We do know the suspect was in the parking lot area for a few minutes prior to going into the food court. There was no exchange. The victim was ordering food. The suspect appeared and immediately began shooting at the victim.
Several schools in the area were placed on lockdown during the initial response. At this time, police say they are confident surveillance cameras in and around the casino will lead them to their suspect.
So now here's the thing. Okay, I do not think they're going to find them. It's out here in PG County. If you guys don't know Maryland, PG County is rough. Let's just call it that. PG County is very rough, but I do not think they're going to find the suspect. That's just my opinion. I'm going to leave it at that. And that's because, people out here, they do what they do. We got the YNs, okay? We got the youngins. We got all of that. So I really don't think it's going to happen, but we shall see. But it's definitely sad. But I was happy to at least see that it was a targeted shooting, because most of the time here, or anywhere really, but most of the time you get, people getting out there shooting, other people get shot. We did the story on Stockton, children being shot, other people being shot. It's just absolutely insane. All right. So even though I'm not a fan of people being shot, I am glad that this, whoever he was after that person. Okay. Because everybody said it's a targeted operation or targeted shooting. Like you're not going to stop these people from just going wild and going crazy. So you guys, let me know what you think about that. That just happened about 2 hours ago here in the Maryland area. All right. And I am in Maryland. I am right outside of DC. So yeah, that's definitely close to home. So you guys, let me know what you think about that. All right. So now I want to get into Milagro. Okay. Milagro GRAMZ, we know, was sued by Megan Thee Stallion. Okay. I am cool with Milagro. I think she's an awesome blogger. I think she did phenomenal reporting during the trial because she wrote those things down word for word, right? And I do appreciate what she is saying and doing about new media. So I want to go ahead and get into her interview that she did down in Miami before she left, because Milagro is out there in Houston. Okay. So she did an interview, and I want to get into that because she talks a little bit about, why she thinks she was sued and what actually happened. And I think it sheds light on not only, what people will say that bloggers and YouTubers are and what we do, and of course, give you warning about what you should share, maybe what you shouldn't share. But I thought this was really, really informative, and I was happy to see that Milagro did it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go.
And now to a story you'll see only here on CBS News Miami. Just 24 hours after the verdict in the Megan Thee Stallion's defamation lawsuit, blogger Milagro Cooper is sharing her story.
And she's answering tough questions about the actions that led her to this moment, like a deep fake AI pornographic video she was accused of amplifying to her followers. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor has the exclusive.
Did you know it was an AI fake video?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And why did you spread it?
I think that's a tricky question because I think there are misconceptions about what actually happened. Mm-hmm. I did say go to my likes, and I did speak about it.
And that is how Milagro Cooper described her actions, for which she ended up sued in a Miami federal court by rapper Megan Thee Stallion. In the civil lawsuit, the rapper said in June 2024, defendant Cooper encouraged her 27,000 followers to view an ex post by another person, an artificially created video of Miss Pete purportedly engaged in sexual acts without Miss Pete's knowledge or consent. Megan Pete, the rapper's legal name, testified in court that the video caused her such emotional distress she considered her life was not worth living. Did you not know this could harm her?
Did I personally think that this would cause her to feel those ways? Absolutely not.
On Monday, Megan Pete left court with a smile, while the jury found Cooper defamed the rapper and awarded $16,000 in damages for defamation. Judge Cecilia Altonaga said she would not include the jury's defamation finding in her final order. Megan Pete would only get $59,000 from the blogger and not $75,000 anymore.
For the jury to decide that it wasn't a multi-million-dollar settlement or finding, that is a win. Absolutely.
The jury also decided Milagro Cooper was a media defendant. That was the reason the compensation for defamation would not count. She alleged she is new media. What ethics rules do you have to follow, or do you follow?
So I could not come up with a code of ethics on my own. I think that because this is so new, those are the different things that we have to create and make a foundation for.
Well, and there you have it. I also asked Milagro Cooper if there's anything that she learned and anything that she regrets, coming up at 6 p.m. The answer to those questions. Live in the newsroom, Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
All right, Ivan. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. All right. So this, yeah, this is the reason why I wanted to show this, right? Because at the end of the day, Milagro, she's explaining that we are new media, okay? Your YouTubers, your podcasters, your live streamers, whatever you want to call it, okay? Your people, your man on the street, those people are media, all right? And the Constitution says so. All right. And so that's why the judge said that she wouldn't take the defamation claim into her, her final judgment. So here's the thing. Milagro may be getting out of the entire thing because you can't send a cease and desist to a person that is a part of the media. And so Milagro you have to send a cease and desist. She never sent the cease and desist to Milagro GRAMZ as media personnel. She just sent it to her as a regular person. So when you send things as a regular defendant, right, and a regular plaintiff, there's different things that apply. But media, they get a different preference. And Milagro is considered media. So now they're going to go back and appeal it. And they're going to appeal that on the grounds of being media. So I definitely can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see this because this actually affects people like myself and others when we, are able to talk about things. But one of the things I found so weird in this whole case is the fact that she kept saying, well, Milagro is talking about this, that, and the third, but it's already out in the media. It's stuff that, TMZ was reporting on. So I didn't understand how it is that Megan had such a problem, with Milagro reporting on things. And we know why, but she had such a problem with Milagro pointing out things, but she didn't have a problem with TMZ or academics. Okay. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. I think she tried to go for what she deemed the low-hanging fruit and get a win so that she can set her and the media and the industry, so they can set some type of, precedence, to say, hey, this is what you all in the blogosphere and on a podcast and all these other things, this is what you can't do because you're not media. And they found out that they were wrong. So I am going to continue to follow this story because I think that it definitely is going to evolve into something great and something that clearly affects what I do. So you guys get down in the comments and in the chat and let me know what you think about that. All right. And I see you guys in super chats and I definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And I'll read it after this. I'll read it after I get through the shots because I want to get into this. I want to get into Dillon Gabriel. Okay. Dillon Gabriel plays for the Browns. Okay. The Browns. I don't care about the Browns. Just letting you know. I don't know if anybody here is from Cleveland, but I don't care about the Browns. But seriously, so, okay, his fiance had the nerve to step out of line and start talking and posting things and saying things on TikTok. She's a TikTok influencer. Go figure. But she's a TikTok influencer and she's talking. Now, the reason why I brought up that show, The Game, earlier was because on The Game, they used to tell the wives, hey, don't do this. Don't speak about this because it's going to affect him on the field. Kelly Pitts did not get to this fiance, okay? Kelly Pitts is one of the wives on the show, okay? She's the white woman that was married to Jason, okay? So you guys, I want you to hear what his fiance had to say and why it is an issue. All right. It's causing an issue on TikTok because they are going in on this woman. I want you guys to hear this. Here we go.
Dillon's fiance, she's a TikTok influencer, lives here in Cleveland with him. So she posts this. And Chris, the original caption on the TikTok was, Browns lost, what's new?
Okay,
So she originally kind of took a shot at the team. So she posts that kind of blows up. Everybody's like, all right, you can't, like, don't take shots at the team. Someone comments this. This is from LeJohn James, a TikTok user. He said that little comment you made right there is disgusting. The way you're openly racist is so weird, and you wonder why everyone cheered when little Dylan got a little headache and was afraid to play.
No, not everybody cheered.
Nobody in that locker room respects that little dude. That's
not true.
That's what LeJohn said. Okay,
John, I love you, and no one loves Shador more than me, but that's just not true.
So she says, actually, everyone in the building wants him to play, but you wouldn't know that because you've never played in the NFL or been a couch, right? I think she meant coach. She spelled it wrong, but
I'm trying to be fair here. I am. Sorry, little John. What's his name?
LeJohn. LeJohn's on your side, I think.
Oh,
here.
I'm then you're with me, Johnny. And so it'll all work out for you and your guy.
All right. So I wanted to play that because I wanted to give you an idea of what she actually did. All right. And what she was saying. Now, the thing about it is, it's now gone viral and people are talking about this woman. I want you to see what the people had to say. And I don't know what he has on his face. They all want to be Pooh Shiesty. Good Lord. Here we go.
Dillon Gabriel actually might be the goofiest player to ever play in the NFL. His fiance came out making a TikTok showing her goofy ass outfit for the Browns game, and she threw straight shots at Shador and the Browns. Someone came out saying that like she made a disgusting comment and that nobody in the locker room respects Dillon. But right here, she said you wouldn't know that because you never played in the NFL or been a coach, right? So how the hell does she know about this? He's been throwing shots at Shador all season, saying if you wait for the perfect time, you're going to be waiting your whole life. This is straight shots at Shador. And this guy came in for one single play for Shador, right? And he just throws an absolute hospital ball to one of the best players on our team. He could have got killed right there. Hey, you and your 5'2", Smurf, Looney Tunes ass fiance both got to get out of Cleveland right now. I've had zero respect for Dillon Gabriel all season long, and I still have no idea how Stefanski wants to play him over Shador.
So that was one, okay? But that was not the only one. They are going in. Here's another.
To say that they want him. Dillon Gabriel's fiance, Zoe. Girl, if you don't be quiet, if your man's supposed to play, he gonna play. He did play. He played for 6 weeks. We got a feeling of what he can do. The Browns organization got a feeling of what he can do. So for you to say that they want him to play while he ain't playing, that looks silly. Somebody don't want him to play, or he would be playing. Now you done caused all this hysteria in the social media world. Folks is picking it up on radio stations, on news outlets, all because you couldn't keep it cute and keep it on mute. Let this be a lesson going forward. Turn off the doggone comments or stay in your lane. If fashion is your lane, stay in that lane. Sports and NFL ain't your lane, and you looking lame. You're not helping your man out.
And this is why I brought up the whole, idea of the sunbeams, you guys. Okay, because the sunbeams, like I said, on the game, they kept all that in line. Does the NFL not actually have one of the? I refuse to believe that the NFL doesn't have one of those. Somebody has to keep these girls in check. Okay, somebody has. There's no older females keeping these girls in check because you're going to get your man benched. And you're gonna have the team hating him. Okay, they're gonna be like, you can't check your woman, and you're gonna go back and say, I'm checking you, and then she's going to divorce you and then take all your money, and then we're gonna be hearing about that, and then you're not really gonna be playing. Like, it's just a whole bunch of mess. Y'all gotta watch the chicks y'all have. I'm telling you, you have to watch the chicks you have. But you can't tell some of these dudes nothing. You can't tell them anything. And so last but not least, I just want to show you the video that she actually did. Okay. So this was the video here. And you can just see it. It's really, really quick. Here we go.
Get dressed with me for Browns versus 49ers.
Dillon Gabriel's fiance, Zoe Caswell, is catching a ton of heat after she appeared to take shots at starting quarterback Shedeur Sanders following the team's loss to the 49ers. In a recent TikTok video on Zoe's account, she captioned a video showing her outfit for the game. Browns lost, what's new? People were very quick to accuse her of doing this because Shedeur started and not Dillon. And comments like, I don't remember these captions when your man was QB1, and love your content but very disappointed in the caption, need to support this team whether he's in or not, only confirm that. She tried to defend herself by saying it was a joke, but no one is seeming to buy it. But unfortunately, it doesn't end there, and another comment chain surfaced on her TikTok where she responded to comments saying that no one in the Browns building wants Dillon to play. She responded to the comments saying that everybody in the organization wants him to start over Shedeur and says that they haven't played in the NFL or coached, so how would they know? This is obviously a very odd comment coming from someone who has also not played or coached in the NFL.
And this, again, is why you shut your mouth. Okay? You absolutely shut up. You absolutely shut your mouth. Okay? Now, you could talk to your man and say, hey, I don't think this was right, all of this stuff. You could talk to the women around him, the men around him, whatever you want to do. You don't go public. Like, I'm tired of people getting on the internet. All right? And yes, ladies, shut up. Like, close your mouths. You have to be quiet. You absolutely have to be quiet. I'm going to say it again. You absolutely have to be quiet when it affects the money coming in. Okay? You're talking too much. You're telling the business. Absolutely. Close it. Zip it. All the way. But you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Dillon Gabriel's drama, okay? What you think about his girlfriend, fiance, whatever you want to call it. She's almost his wife. If she don't shut up, he's going to be benched and then he's not going to be making any money and she's not going to make it to wife because she's not going to want to be there. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But let me know what you think about that. And let me know what you think about Milagro talking to Miami CBS and letting them know, what actually happened. And she has a longer interview on there, but I just wanted to play a clip of it because I thought it was really important to, have you guys see that this is going somewhere. Okay. New media is actually going somewhere and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think. All right. Now let's get into these super chats really quickly. Thank you all again for supporting the platform. I appreciate you guys. Let's start here with Chavis. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Hail to the, you better say them Redskins. You better say them skins. Hail to the Redskins. Thank you, sir. What was their name again? Them boys. Them boys are who? Every time we on the couch, y'all on the couch. Them boys who? Okay. Y'all got who? Y'all got who? He took y'all to what? I haven't seen y'all win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. That ought to tell you something. Thank you, Chavis, though. I appreciate you. Them boys, I read it for you because it's a super chat. Thank you so much. All right. Let's get to the next super chat here. And we have Swad Jones 4706. Thank you so much. Free Tory. I know that's right. Free Tory. Meg ain't ish. LOL. She's something else. Now she's the victim again. Boy, I tell you, LOL. Salute, Mika. Thank you so much. Yeah. I've told my feelings about the whole Megan Thee Stallion case in one of my older videos when it first dropped. But I'm not a fan of how that case went down at all. Okay. Not the, giving, the friend immunity. Like, why does she need immunity? Why does she need it? We know what happened. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's see here. I am Carter Ray. What's up, Mika? What's up? Thank you so much for the 199 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. And then Chavis. Here you go. $2 super chat. The Redskins haven't won since it don't matter. And neither have 95? Was 95 the last time y'all won? All right. Okay. Like I said, thank you so much, Chavis. I appreciate you. You always support. But them boys, whatever. Let's move on. So let's get into Ratchet Crockett. Okay. Drop a tear. Okay. Because at the end of the day, Miss Jasmine Crockett, I guess, thought that, she thought she had a chance. She really thought she had a chance. It's 1 week, okay, from the deadline of the filing for the Senate races, okay? And she hasn't filed yet. So I want to get into that, but I want to do a quick flashback to what Miss Crockett had to say about everything. Remember, she said that she had a fighting chance, okay? She said she had a chance and that she knew she was going to do better than Ken Paxton, and she was at the top of the pack. And I think she's at the top of the pack when it comes to voters that will vote in the Democratic primary. Sure. Yeah, they love a dummy. I think so. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into this flashback really quick on what she said about her chances of winning. Here we go.
I am still thinking about running. We did get our polling back. So we are moving on to the next phase to determine whether or not this is would make sense in the moment, and if the infrastructure can be built out in the way that I see it being necessary to actually be able to win, as well as we are continuing to look at the polling on the other side. Listen, they are in a civil war right now on the Republican side as it relates to who will become their nominee. John Cornyn has served the state of Texas for decades at this point in time in some capacity. And right now, I don't know if he's MAGA enough to make it through his primary, but we are evaluating all things and seeing what it would look like to put together a team. And we will make a final decision by Thanksgiving on whether or not we're going to ultimately move forward.
What did the polling information that you got back show? I mean, is it a calculation of whether or not you're going to be facing Cornyn, who might have more appeal to moderates in your state, centrists in your state, as opposed to a more MAGA candidate who potentially defeats Cornyn in the primary that you might, or any Democrat might, have a better chance against?
I'll tell you this, that head to head, we are doing really well against Paxton.
Oh, really?
I will say that.
Okay.
I will also tell you that we are actually within the margin of error as it relates to John Cornyn.
Okay. So I wanted you guys to hear that. Okay. You got to listen to what they say. All right. So here is CBS Texas talking about Miss Jasmine Crockett. Here we go.
Underway. We're going to start with that development with Dallas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, possibly taking a leap forward and running for the U.S. Senate here in the state of Texas. So what's changed? She has now scheduled an announcement, that's all we know, for Monday afternoon. With that, let's get right to ION Politics reporter Jack Fink in the newsroom. I know you're working the sources. You got good ones. What are you hearing?
Well, Doug, Democrats I've spoken with today tell me they believe Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is definitely going for it. Her announcement is set in the city of Dallas at 4:30 p.m. Monday, an hour and a half before the state's deadline for candidates to file their campaign paperwork. Crockett has told me that she would only run statewide for U.S. Senate if polling she commissioned shows she can win a general election by expanding the electorate and attracting new voters. History, though, has shown it is an uphill climb for any Democrat to win statewide in Texas because that hasn't happened in more than 30 years. Before Crockett can run in a general election, she has to win the primary, and she will have to beat her fellow Democrats. Former Dallas Congressman Colin Allred, who ran statewide last year and attracted some Republicans, and State Representative James Tallarico, who's shown he can raise a record amount of money and generate national headlines. Republicans are already expressing excitement for a likely Crockett run in the Senate because they don't believe she can win a general election. Senator John Cornyn is fighting off Attorney General Ken Paxton and Congressman Wesley Hunt of Houston in the GOP primary. Electability will likely be a key, if not the key issue in the Democratic primary. And that's because analysts have said they believe Allred and Tallarico will make the arguments that they can win over not only independents, but also Republicans. And
now, that Tallarico, okay, I told you that the Democrat establishment like him. Okay, I told you that was that Monday? I think I told you on Monday. Okay, that the Democrats like that Tallarico. Okay, but they don't want the white man. They don't want the white man to run. They want Ratchet Crockett, okay, meaning the people, the 92%, those deranged white women on the left, okay, they want Ratchet Crockett. That is the problem, okay, but the establishment knows that she cannot win statewide, but I say let her run. Absolutely let her run. And the reason why I say so is because of this right here. Okay. So let me see if I can blow this up really quickly. Let's see if I can blow this up. All right. So what this is showing right here, okay? What this is showing is the fact that Jasmine Crockett, I don't think that did anything. I don't think that did anything. Still didn't do anything. Okay. So, but what this is right here is some polling numbers, okay? And it's basically saying that nearly half, okay, of people who would definitely not vote for Jasmine Crockett. Here is her standing against John Cornyn. John Cornyn wins by pretty much 50%. And Ratchet Crockett comes in at 42%. She's trailing Cornyn and Paxton. And she said she thought she could beat Paxton. Like, clearly she thinks she can beat Paxton because she thinks Paxton is not liked. Okay, that he's a MAGA Republican, and you know they think Trump is in the toilet because of everything that's going on. So they're saying that, hey, I can beat at least Paxton. These numbers say otherwise. Okay, they say otherwise. But if you look up here, okay, you know who is up there? That James Torrico. Okay, Torrico is up there, and that's because the establishment, they like him. They absolutely like him. Okay. And I think you know, he might be one of those type of candidates that, you know, are is kind of strong. Okay, because he's not a left, like a whole leftist. All right. So he can appeal to the middle, right? He can appeal to the middle, or maybe the disinfected Trump voters, disinfecting Trump voters. Yeah, those people, you know, I voted for Trump, but I didn't get everything in 10 months. Those people, he may can get a little bit of those. So we shall see. But I know she's, you know, she's still gonna go try it. But I'm telling you right now, drop a tear, because this is some sad stuff right here. This is sad. This is absolutely sad. Okay. Because Jasmine Crockett is supposed to be, you know, the girl that can definitely beat everybody. Okay. So is she losing in her own polling? Yeah. We just answered that question. Okay. But Dems are going to go ahead and let her run. Okay. They can't tell a black woman no. You know, you cannot tell a black woman no, especially when she's the 92%. Okay. That would be racist to tell her that she can't win, even though the numbers say so. Damn those numbers. Okay. Damn them. We are going to play them anyway, because Jasmine Crockett is for the people. So you guys, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about Jasmine Crockett. All right. And is she, you know, can she win? You guys let me know. I don't think she can statewide. All right. Now we're going to get into another delusional Democrat, but let me go ahead and read this super chat from Chavis. Okay, the $5 super chat. Jasmine's Temu wig is better than the Skins. You're not gonna stop today. That's all right. Hey, you pay the cost to be the boss. I'm gonna read all of this. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jasmine's Temu wig is better than the Skins. Had to get one more dig in. Don't worry. Both of our teams will be at home next month. You're absolutely correct. I told you, we all sit on the couch together, okay? Including Slimmy's Browns. They will be on the couch. And you can go run and tell them I said it. Shout out to my homie Slimmy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. All right. So again, let's get into another delusional Democrat, okay? Screaming Jay Hawkins. Let's get into Screaming Jay Hawkins, okay? Miss Screaming Jay Hawkins, aka her real name, AFTYN BEHN, okay? AFTYN BEHN. This woman is absolutely nuts. But let's go ahead and get into it. So AFTYN BEHN lost last night, all right? And it was too late for me to, scream it from the mountaintops and do all some, types of postings and things like that. But nevertheless, we're here today. The Democrats lost, okay? After all of that screaming, after all of these, drive-bys of media that she has been doing, she absolutely lost. But the media, they're going to spin it a little bit, okay? Because they're going to say that, she's right on the heels in Ruby Red, Tennessee. She's right on the heels and she's right there. So let's get into what they had to say about this breaking news last night, and then we'll get into everything up to now. Here we go.
Breaking tonight here at the Live Dish just minutes ago, the Associated Press now calling this high-stakes race. Republican Matt Van Epps has now won Tennessee's special election in the 7th Congressional District. What traditionally has really been a reliably conservative stronghold, the 7th was a surprisingly competitive race in recent weeks leading up to tonight. And a look at the latest numbers for you here with 96% of votes reported in Tennessee in that 7th district. Van Epps edging out Democrat AFTYN BEHN, a progressive state lawmaker. Now, Van Epps just spoke to his supporters in Tennessee moments ago. We are working to turn that sound around for you as quickly as possible. Meantime, President Trump quickly responding tonight, congratulating the Republican, calling this a, quote, big congressional win in the great state of Tennessee, adding, quote, the radical left Democrats threw everything at him, including millions of dollars. Another great night for the Republican Party.
And let's break down why tonight's special election is so important. Well, ahead of today's election, the balance of power in the House stood at 219 Republicans to 213 Democrats. With a Van Epps win, that becomes 220 Republicans to 14 Democrats in the House. Last month, Democratic candidates picked up big wins in New York City, Virginia, and New Jersey. They may have another chance next month, as there will be another special election for Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat in Georgia. All of the seats will be up for a vote in the midterms in November. The high-stakes seat belonged to Republican Representative Mark Green, who was elected for his 4th term in 2024. In that same election, Trump won the district by 22 points. Coming into Election Day, the margin was only 2 points in favor of Republican Matt Van Epps, much closer than expected.
Calm and common sense. My friends, that's exactly what America needs in Washington right now.
Yeah, we don't need any progressives. So you guys saw that. That was the breaking news last night. Okay. That was the running thing. Okay. Oh yeah, we got close. We got close. That was the running theme of last night. However, I want to go ahead and get into her concession speech because OMG. Let's go ahead and hear that. Here we go.
And AFTYN BEHN, the Democrat in this race, who ran a big campaign and really went for it, is speaking right now. Let's listen in.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Well, I know tonight was not what the results we wanted, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have a bunch of thank yous. So I want to start with my family and friends that are here tonight. Chris, my parents, Amanda, Mrs. Smith, Kelly, my team, oh my gosh, my campaign team. If you're my campaign team, raise your hand. They worked so hard. They did such a phenomenal job. We outperformed every metric that we needed. They killed it. I want to thank our senior advisors who believed in us, a bunch of ragtag kids from Tennessee who changed the course of this country.
She on that stuff.
I want to thank the county parties who stepped up, who donated, who supported us day in and day out, who canvassed every single day to get out the vote. Could not be here without you. And I want to thank my colleagues, a lot of them who are up here and over here, who stood by me and have been in the trenches in the Tennessee legislature and across this state, taking back power and restoring democracy every day.
Look who behind it. Look at him.
And I want to thank the Equity Alliance. We've got a lot of groups represented. Planned Parenthood, Turk, all of the groups who have been knocking doors.
Planned Parenthood.
building power, the hard, laborious power, day in and day out of rebuilding our democracy. And although tonight is not the final result of what we wanted, but it is the beginning of something so powerful in Tennessee and across the South.
Oh, Lord.
I am so proud of the race that we won. The Republicans made these districts to be uncompetitive. They wanted us to back down, and we did not back down. We showed up.
State Representative AFTYN fired up tonight, speaking before her supporters over at Marathon Motorworks just outside the downtown loop.
A nut. So yeah, I just want you guys to see who is behind her. Like, who is behind her? Okay, you see, you know, the 92%, right? You see them, all of Kamala's supporters. Okay, you see the men that strode to the polls. You see them. You see him right here. Yep, he strode to the poll behind his woman. His woman probably right there. Okay, you better vote for AFTYN. You better vote for her. So he went out and voted for her. Okay, he campaigned. He knocked on doors. Okay, he's part of the grassroots. He wants his wife and his daughter to have pro-choice. Okay, as you see, Planned Parenthood is one of the sponsors. All right, they gave money. Shocker. All right, but this is what they do. All right, okay, and they do all of this, but they won't get behind Stacey Abrams. They won't get behind poor Stacey, you know. But all the women that look like Stacey will get behind Screaming Jay Hawkins over here. Okay, we'll get behind this progressive nut, the AOC of Tennessee, because that's what they call her. Okay, the AOC of Tennessee. Anybody that's called AOC of anything is a nut. That is AFTYN BEHN. Okay, that woman is a nut. I've already shown you her being dragged out. I already showed you her talking about Nashville, saying that she doesn't like country music, is racist, and Nashville is this, that, and the third. Who doesn't like Shania Twain? Okay, like, huh? Yeah, she deserved to lose. Okay, and those conservative white women, yeah, they showed her. So let's move into what she had to say about calling the Republican candidate, you know, when he won. Here we go.
This race does go to your opponent. Will you call him to concede this evening?
Absolutely. I actually called and asked for his campaign manager's phone. And as we like to do in the South, we are hospitable. We love Southern hospitality. And so absolutely, I will call him and make sure that he knows that that I ran a good race. And I look forward to maybe competing with him next year.
So you're leaving the door open to, if you lose this race tonight, to potentially running again?
Oh God.
Perhaps, yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously I have to rest for a few days and circle back with my team, but we've run an amazing race, all things considered. The deck was stacked against us, especially in the deep red South. And we've narrowed the margin. And for me, that is a celebration worth having.
This race does go to your opponent.
Man, get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. And here's the thing about, I see the country music comment. And here's the thing about country music, right? Even with that, they were on stage with her. Okay. They were on stage with the woman that doesn't like country music. Okay. So they don't like Hootie and the Blowfish. All right. They're not supporting Ray Charles's country music. Okay. They don't support Charlie Pride. Okay, so either way you want to spin it, either way you want to talk about it historically, what it is now, she don't support it, and obviously neither do the 92%, because look who they support. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. That's how they are. Let's move in to my favorite, the only reason I watched the China News Network, Scott Jennings, and what he had to say last night on the whole matter. Okay, I want to get into that. Here we go.
Well, first of all, there's lessons to be learned from everything. When you win, there's lessons. When you lose, there's lessons. And so I'm sure they'll look and see who turned out and what messages were effective and which ones weren't. And that'll be something the party can move going forward. It's an off-year special election. The turnout matrix is far different than a presidential, and it'll be different than what comes out in November. So you can take nothing for granted, of course. And Republicans do have historical headwinds. I still think they are in position to make an argument that their economic theories are better than the Democrats' theories. And Democrats, after all, took prices to the moon, and now they want to forget the last 4 years and pretend like this just started 10 months ago. I think most voters know that's patently ridiculous. I do have a slight disagreement with David. I do think we'll hear from her again. I think she'll run again, and I think she and her brand of politics are the median Democrat. This is the basic Democrat you're going to get in most races around the country. This person running on defund the police, radical progressive positions, whether you're in Nashville or Manhattan or Florida or California, wherever you happen to be, this is what the Democratic base wants. The most cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs person they can find. And they're going to look at these results and say, hey, this is how we got so close. So let's replicate it around the country. I think we'll hear from her and her kind for the next year. I don't think it'll be good for Democrats.
But can I ask you on that? Because you said that she ran on defund the police. There were her past comments on that, but she said that that was basically when she was a private citizen, before she was representing the state legislature. I mean, that wasn't like a core tenet of her campaign. She talked about affordability. So I think my question is do you really think that's what every Democrat looks like? I mean, I don't think that was the main, that was something that a criticism of hers, obviously in past comments, but that wasn't the, tenet of her campaign or anything.
She got asked about it repeatedly and refused to back away from it. And look, I'm just telling you, this is what Democrats believe, and this is what their base wants. It's why she wouldn't go back on it. I was just a private citizen. Oh my gosh, we've never held what you said as a private citizen against you in a political campaign. For goodness sakes, what a ridiculous.
Scott, when I tell you Scott never misses, Scott never misses. Oh, I was a private citizen. And then the nerve of Kate. Okay, nerve of Katie right there to go and say that. Okay, when you guys talk about Donald Trump being a private citizen all the time. Okay, oh my God, he took out an ad, which he didn't do, but oh my God, he took out an ad on the Central Park 5. He did it as a private citizen, so it still shows that he's racist. Okay, so then it still shows that that woman does not like the police. Okay, she wants to defund the police. Like I can't stand the hypocrisy of the Democrats, right? They this right here, this feminist right here, this strong feminist. Yeah, they all cover for each other. That woman is absolutely nuts. Okay, AFTYN BEHN is nuts.
Way to just maintain a position that nobody likes. This is the median Democrat position. She is the median Democrat candidate, and that's what their base wants. So that's what we're in for. And Republicans need to draw bright lines on this stuff in every race in the country.
Yeah, we'll see what the takeaways are. Scott Jennings, David Urban, Alonso.
Yep. And, like I said, they're running cover for each other. But the thing about it is the Democrats understand that anything attached or that's, AOC, anything, are a bunch of nut jobs. So they don't even really want to run progressives. But when you got the Mondami effect going on, it's kind of hard to get away from them. Okay. And so this was something that I actually agreed with this Democratic strategist on a little bit, because he talks about the progressive part of the party.
You cannot nominate people who are too far left in districts that are red, like this one, or purple, where we have a chance of winning. This one was really tough. It's not clear anybody could have won this as a Democrat, but it is absolutely clear that a more moderate Democrat could have done better. I mean, AFTYN BEHN was saying things like she hated Nashville and she hated country music, and she was talking terrible things about police, and she called herself a radical, a clip that was used over and over and over in the ads against her. So we can't nominate radicals in moderate places. We got to nominate people that match their district. And if we do, we can win. Just one data point on this. In the Trump era, in the last 10 years, the groups on the far left have flipped zero seats from red to blue, while the New Democrats, the moderates in the House, have flipped 99. We cannot nominate people who are too far left.
And he's absolutely correct, okay? Because that's what's happening. They're nominating these far left lunatics who are going out and saying all these ridiculous things. That's because most of the people that are on the left with the septum rings and, the blue hair, those people, that's what they believe. So she's not saying anything that her base doesn't, agree with. So, on that front, I agree. That's what she should be saying, but that's absolutely not what the establishment of the Democratic Party wants. And unfortunately, those people don't win elections. So I definitely understand, but it is what it is. And she lost. And so drop a tear. for Afton Bain because Afton Bain lost big, and I'm absolutely happy. Okay, I'm absolutely happy that nut did not win because we don't need anybody in America that doesn't like America, that doesn't like country music, for God's sakes. That's like the most American thing. Okay. You don't like country music, you gotta go. Okay. You don't like Shania Twain, you gotta go. You don't like Shabuzi, you gotta go. Okay. You gotta go. All right. You don't like Nelly and Tim McGraw. It is what it is. You got to go. All right. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Afton Bain, the Tennessee Democrat who got humiliated. Okay. Because she tried to push that progressive agenda down there in good old Nashville. Okay. And it did not work. All right. But you get down in the comments and get in the chat and let me know what you think about her. All right. I'm pretty sure I'll see a lot of what you guys think. The ones that are live right now. All right. Let me get into these super chats really quick before we get into our last topic of the night. Okay. Taurus Prince, thank you so much for the 199 super chat. I think Jasmine, oh gosh, I think Jasmine comes out of Idiocracy. Look, Jasmine, and thank you so much for the super chat. Jasmine is a special breed, okay? She doesn't want to be herself because she knows it doesn't work with her base. But she seems absolutely stupid when she, acts like what the base wants her to be. And it's not working because it doesn't appeal to a broader electorate. Right? Nobody on either side wants to sit and talk to white trash all day is what they call it, or the most ratchet city girl. Okay, nobody wants to do that. All right, it's okay if you come from these areas and made it out and things like that. Like everybody understands that. Okay, everybody has a story. Everybody hasn't been as fortunate, and you should never, denigrate anybody from where they had to start from as a child. But by golly, if you have a JD, okay, went to prestigious colleges, you've gone to the best schools, why not show young people that, black or white? Okay, why not show them that? And that's because they want the ignorance. They want it. They want you to stay that way. Okay, they want you to be downtrodden. They want you to stay that way. They want you to stay in the trailer park. They want you to stay in the projects. They want that. All right, so they can have a base. That's absolutely what they want. That's why they don't want to show you anything else. So thank you, Taurus Prince. Thank you for sponsoring my rant. I appreciate it. And then last but not least for right now, we have Chavis. She looks like John Tesh. You know what? Joe Pesci. All right. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all so much for the super chats. I appreciate you. Yeah, Jasmine just cosplays a lot. She gets on my nerves, but we shall continue to talk about her on this podcast. All right, you guys. So let's get into it. Is Trump right about the Somali immigrants ripping us off? Okay, I am in support of everything. Operation Get Rid of the Somalis. Operation Get Rid of all the illegals, really. But I'm definitely in support of Operation Get Rid of the Somalis. Okay, because here's the thing. When I pay for something and I don't get to use it, and then you don't pay for something and you get to use it, I get mad. And yeah, I will support you getting whatever comes your way. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into all of this because Donald Trump said some racy things about the Somalis. And, the Ilhans of the world and, all the white liberals who like to race bait, they are upset. All the China News networks and all the BS Now networks, they're upset. All right. But I want to get into what Trump had to say first, because Trump is in his F around and find out era, his I don't care era, because I am over, I'm about to be over 80 and, I just don't care. And this is my last term. So I'm going to say what I really want to say. And so here we go.
And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country is no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries too. I can say it about other countries too. We don't want them the hell. We have to rebuild our country. Our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. They came from paradise and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
Hold on, say that again.
But when they come from hell and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
Trump said, make Somalia great again. Okay. Trump said, make Somalia great again. Okay. He said, y'all out here, bitch. And he said it back and thought about that too. He said, wait a minute, that's what you're doing. Okay. And I 100% agree. I agree. I'm so glad Donald Trump is in my era. Mwah. Okay. I would hate to be, down the line as a kid having to look back at this. Oh, I'm so glad this is my era. All right. Because he says exactly what I want to say. All right. He says it. Now, okay, let's get into what Ilhan, as he like to call her, Ilhan, what she had to say about all of this, because Ilhan, whatever her name is, she has something to say about this. So I want you guys to get into that. Here we go.
Joining us now for her first interview since the comments from the president is Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. She came to the U.S. from Somalia as a child, became an American citizen about 25 years ago. Congresswoman, thank you for being with us. The president attacked you personally yesterday, and I want to play more of what he said.
Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain.
Congresswoman, how do you respond to that?
Yeah, what you got to say?
Well, thank you, Anna, for having me. I would say the president's obsession with me and the Somali community is really unhealthy. It's creepy.
You could tell she's been in the United States for a long time, because that is the typical American girl response. He is obsessed with me. Oh my God. Why does he keep talking about me? That is the actual, shaming point. Okay. Like our good friend Kevin Samuels would say, sign language. All right. Yeah, that definitely is a shaming point, because obsessed with you. How, ma'am? How? You married your brother. Like, how would we be obsessed? I'm going to tell you right now, we don't care.
And I hope that he gets the help that he needs. It sounds like he's trying to deflect from the failures that he's had as president. His immigration rates are not going in the way that he's expected.
It's about to.
We know that the tariffs are not working to make life affordable for Americans. We know that He is afraid of what is in the Epstein files, as he's fought to
Probably
be the
you.
head of the pedophile protection party. And we know that right now he is being investigated for war crimes that he might have committed when he ordered what seems to be illegal attacks against boats in the Caribbean.
I'm so sick of hearing about those boats in the Caribbean. Y'all never said anything about Obama. Obama should be arrested just for the war crimes, okay? Just for going in there and getting what should have been his brother, Gaddafi, okay? Just going in Yemen. They invaded Yemen just because they wanted to, all right? Like, let's not talk about war crimes. Let's not talk about Gitmo that's still open that was supposed to close. It's almost like Kamala's border, okay? Kamala's at the border. She been to the border, ain't never been to the border, but she been to Europe. Yeah, that's like Barack. Okay, I'm supposed to close Gitmo, never close Gitmo, but nobody talks about Gitmo. Yeah, Gitmo is still open. He never closed it. And what was he doing in Gitmo? Torturing people, not giving people actual, cases, not giving them what the Americans love to say, due process. Yeah, by international law. Like, miss me with this nonsense. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They think we don't know politics. They think we don't know the truth. They think we don't do research. Okay, I don't know what you guys think about YouTubers. I don't know what you think about podcasters. I don't know what you think about live streamers. But I assure you, they're much smarter than these people give us credit for. And Ilhan, she's just absolutely nuts, obsessed with her. Please.
Your district has the largest population of Somali immigrants in the U.S., around 80,000 in the state of Minnesota. This isn't the first time the president has made derogatory comments about your community. Last week, he threatened to end temporary protected status for Somali immigrants in the state. He alleged without evidence Somali gangs are terrorizing the state. In his first term, he called the Somali resettlement in the state a disaster. Why do you think he's so focused on this community, and what impact does that kind of racist and dehumanizing language have?
Racist. That's a new one.
He's always been a racist, a bigot, a xenophobic, and Islamophobic. We know that he called African nations a shithole in his first administration.
He said
we
Haiti.
know that when he came down that escalator, he said he was going to stop Muslim immigration into this country.
So did Obama.
So it is not surprising that he is going after Black immigrants in this country. And it's certainly not surprising that he's choosing a Black immigrant community that is also Muslim. But what I would like to say is that most of us are citizens. On our passport, it says we are nationals of this country. We love that Minnesota has welcomed us. Many of us have not been settled in Minnesota. We chose it as a home because the Minnesota people and the state is beautiful and very welcoming. And we are going to be here regardless of what the president has to say.
I agree. I love the Twin Cities. I love visiting your home state as well, Minnesota. Lots of good people there. Beautiful part of the country. Are you getting any support from Republican colleagues on this? Are you seeing anyone from the president's own party stand up and say, this kind of rhetoric isn't okay?
No, because we agree.
No, and it is not surprising because the Republicans have bend the knee to this president. They've welcomed his disgusting and deranged and dangerous rhetoric.
Oh, gosh.
They have propelled him into office.
Hurry up.
They have allowed for him as a 34-time convicted felon to become the president of this nation. And so I am not surprised, and I'm not expecting any of them to develop a backbone now and to stand up for their colleague or our Minnesota, Republican representatives to stand up for their constituents. And earlier you said I represent the most Somalis in Minnesota, and that actually is not a fact. Most Somalis live in the different congressional districts that are mostly represented by Republicans, including the Republican whip of the House.
Okay,
The
cool.
New York Times is now reporting federal immigration agents.
This woman right here is absolutely ridiculous. And this is why I want to show you the hypocrisy real quick. Okay, you guys, look at this. Somebody look at this. The ACLU in 2014, ACLU sues Obama administration for detaining asylum seekers as intimidation tactic, as an intimidation tactic. Why would he need to do that? Why would they need to sue Obama? Why would they need to do that? Oh, I thought he did it with class. I thought he did it with grace. I thought Obama followed the rules. I thought he gave him due process. The ACLU don't, if they don't think you're not doing anything wrong, even though they're leftists, but they sued one of their own. So he must have been doing something. All right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, maybe that's just a one-off. Maybe that one's just a one-off or not. What does that say? Dirty Wars, 2013.
So after he was killed, the story that we all know in the public now is that U.S. officials leaked stories to the press saying that he was 21 years old. He wasn't. He had just turned 16, and we have the birth certificate to prove that. He was born in Colorado in 1995. Then they said that he had been with Ibrahim al-Bana, who was an Egyptian member of al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. And the dominant story that's been floated is that the U.S. was trying to kill al-Bana and that Abdulrahman al-Awlaki just happened to be next to him, which is an incredible coincidence that this 16-year-old kid whose father was killed 2 weeks earlier in a targeted assassination by the U.S. government is then killed himself while in the company of another member of AQAP. The CIA said that al-Bana wasn't even on their target list, so opening up the speculation that it was a unilateral JSOC operation, Joint Special Operations Command operation. When I spoke to a JSOC guy who was in Yemen at the time working on that strike, and he wouldn't tell me any of the details, but he said the guy we were trying to get, we didn't get. And I said, well, how did you feel when you saw that this teenage American citizen had been killed? And he goes, well, there's a reason I'm not doing this anymore. And so we don't know who it was. Was Ibrahim al-Bana there? If he was, AQAP says he's very much alive and that it was lies that he was killed, if that's the claim. Then the U.S. said, well, it was an outrageous mistake. This is all anonymous, though. They'll never talk about it. President Obama's never been asked about the killing of this teenager. My new reporting, though, that I did very recently suggests that this was a great controversy within the White House. I understand from a former senior official of the administration who worked on this program at the time that when it became clear that Abdulrahman al-Awlaki had been killed, that President Obama was furious. And that John Brennan, who at the time was the president's Homeland Security and Counterterrorism advisor, the guy running all of these operations, that Brennan believed or suspected that it was an intentional hit against Anwar al-Awlaki's son, this 16.
It absolutely was. So the teenager that they're talking about, okay, Anwar al-Awlaki was somebody that they were after. However, they supposedly killed him. And then his 16-year-old son was sitting in a coffee house and a drone strike killed him too. And that was an American citizen. And they don't talk about it. That would be considered a war crime because one, they weren't supposed to be in Yemen, and two, it was an American citizen. Absolutely not. I don't want to hear, absolutely not. I don't want to hear about no boats. I don't want to hear about any of that because if I can go back and show you this and I didn't hear a peep from Democrats because this is on Democracy Now, okay? This is a left-leaning show. They showed it. They talked about it. And I didn't hear anything from BS Now, okay, which was MSDNC 13 then, okay? I didn't hear anything from them. I didn't hear anything from China News Network. I didn't hear anything from Don Lemon, okay? I didn't hear anything from Joe Biden, okay? I didn't hear anything from Kamala. Didn't hear anything from nobody, okay? Not bald-headed Joyless Reed. Didn't hear anything from crazy Angela Rye, okay? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, okay? Didn't hear anything, okay? Didn't hear anything from Morris Cole, Mark Lamont Hill, okay? Blink twice if you need to, okay? Didn't hear anything from any of those people. So I don't want to hear this woman. I absolutely don't want to hear her. I don't want to hear it. But, they'll keep going because they like lies. They like lies. But I just had to show you that real quick. The ACLU has sued Obama for what they do during immigration, and that's why he was the deporter in chief. They don't like talking about that, but he did it with class. Okay. Let's get into our other bald-headed reasoning people. They talked about this whole situation with the Somalis. Of course, we have to get into this with Abby, because Abby and the bald-headed reasoning crew always never cease to amaze us. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Trump ups the rhetoric against Somali immigrants in Minnesota. This comes after prosecutors uncovered fraud that largely benefited parts of the state's community. They say 59 people have been convicted in those schemes, and more than $1 billion has been stolen from taxpayers, despite only a small pocket of the tens of thousands of people in the Somali immigrant community there being responsible. President Trump, he's attacking all of them.
Good.
Somalians ripped off that state for billions of dollars. Billions. Every year. Billions of dollars. And they contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries too.
My grandpa.
And now a federal official tells CNN that ICE will launch an operation targeting Somali immigrants in Minneapolis and in St. Paul in the coming days.
Good.
Camille Foster is back with us. This is not surprising, because it is often the case that when something happens, Trump targets the entire community. But in this case, 59 individuals brought to justice, or will be brought to justice.
I just want to ask, I just got a question. Black men in the chat, do y'all, I know y'all don't trust a man with a mohawk, okay, in 2025, but do y'all trust a man with a box in 2025? I just want to know.
Over this alleged fraud, but now everybody from Somalia should be kicked out of the country?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Look, the categorical denunciations are bad. It is also the case, and this isn't qualifying it in a way that abdicates Trump's responsibility for having said it, although he isn't the most sophisticated communicator. Charismatic, sophisticated, not so much. This is how we talk about race and ethnicity in this country. We do a lot of categorical denunciations. For a very long time, it was all about kind of Black lives and whiteness and what whiteness does. No one should be shocked that this is how we're talking about Somalians in this context as well. And I think in general, if we were to move away from that kind of categorical nonsense, it'd be a little bit easier to take on board the condemnations of the president in this context, as opposed to having to just kind of do it when it's convenient for us. So that's the first thing I'd say. But again, I do think that responsibility for this sits with the president. He ought to be a hell of a lot more careful. It is completely inappropriate to condemn an entire community for the failings of a particular community, but the failings of particular people in the community, but the failings of those people are real. And the actual scandal here is genuinely egregious. And there are lots of political actors who ought to be condemned. And I do think that we do ourselves a disservice when we don't try to interpret this in a way that allows us to both condemn the categorical statements here that are, again, irresponsible and wrong, but also acknowledge there is actually a real controversy here. There's something that ought to be addressed.
I think that everyone acknowledges that this is a real, not only a real controversy, it's a real criminal case, and these people are being tried. However, Trump is basically saying he literally has said they don't contribute anything. They should go back. We don't want them here.
What he said was that people who are complaining, et cetera, and who come from these bad countries, that they are bad and we don't want them here. Again, I think that's how most people who support the president are going to interpret this in a generous way.
But this is really the latest panicked scapegoating, because Trump is in real trouble in a lot of areas. He fell asleep 4 times during this meeting, by the way, which is raising even more questions about the energy level.
There's nothing worse than a white man who panders like this. There's absolutely nothing worse. I thought Derek Jackson was bad, but there's nothing worse than a white man who sits up here and is like, oh my God, he fell asleep. Like him and Harry Sissy. Okay, they absolutely get on my nerves. Okay, there's nothing worse than this, because you're not speaking about facts. Like we're talking about the facts of a case. sir. We're talking about there are political actors that help these people do this. Okay. There's a whole group. If you ever go to the mall where the Somalis be, you are not going to be using your debit card. You're going to be using cash. You know why? Because you can't follow cash. You absolutely can't follow it, right? So where's the money going? Back to Somalia? I can't look. No, he about why? Just
having
The
your
war
ass
cri-
kissed for hours could be a little boring.
Yeah, apparently
this is
we've got the war crime situation. Voters increasingly know. He said he was going to bring prices down. Prices
In
are not
fairness, though,
down.
this is the deflection that I'm talking about. There is a legitimate issue
And
here.
any
The
instances
failure
of fraud
of
should be prosecuted.
the failure
Instances of
of
fraud should be
Minnesota
prosecuted, and
officials
they're doing
who
it.
actually permitted this kind of nonsense to
But
take
that's
place.
not why
but wait a
Trump is
minute, wait a
passionate
minute.
about
That
this.
is precisely why people are talking
The
about it. That is
governor,
why the
the
storytelling
governor
now.
of Minnesota, who didn't answer any of the whistleblowers or the warning signs on this scandal, who swept it under the rug, nearly became the vice president of the United States.
Precisely.
And
Absolutely.
everyone
And
in the
is running
American
for
news
re-election
media
now.
ignored this. The New York Times is just now reporting on a scandal that's been years in the making. Why?
And the
You didn't.
stories were-
Why didn't they do a deep dive on Tim Walz and the
Hold on,
campaign
wait,
with this?
hold on.
How is this possible?
Wasn't it Merrick Garland of the Biden administration that brought many of these charges in the first place?
Yes, and Tim Walz.
So are you
it
really
happened on Tim
suggesting
Walz's
that
watch?
Democrats ignored it, even though a Democratic
Tim Walz is an
there was a-
incompetent governor, and yes, he ignored it.
Abby is making a false equivalent. I'm going to tell you why. Because it was Donald Trump who brought the case against Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, not Obama. The Obama administration didn't do it, and neither did George Bush. Okay, so there they go again. There they go again. There they go again. Okay, they keep doing this. Oh well, wasn't it Merrick Garland? Okay, wasn't it the Trump administration that brought the charges for Epstein? But that doesn't cancel him out. You guys are still going full steam ahead when it was Donald Trump. See, you're messy. You're messy, Abby. You're absolutely messy.
Attorney General of a Democratic administration
It's a state
prosecuted
program.
the case.
It's fraud
So-
within a state program in
but
Tim
look,
Walz's administration.
Here's the question that I have. Trump has now put a target on the back of Somali Americans all over the country.
Good.
I understand, Camille, what you were saying about the significance of these fraud charges. What I am asking is it legitimate in the United States of America in 2025 for anybody who is from a particular nationality, whether you are Somali or Afghan, to be painted with the brush of any other person who happens to be from a similar ethnic or a country of origin, to be painted with that same brush? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
Group slurs are wrong. Let's get that out of the way.
This is what he does, right?
Okay, but
It's
it's
very
either wrong or
reminiscent of
it's
what
either
he
right
did.
or it's wrong.
It's of course it's wrong, and it's
It's
very
not just
reminiscent of what he did with the Haitians, right? They eat cats, they eat dogs.
Wait a minute. Wait. This
It's
is
very reminiscent of him calling Haiti a shithole.
It
It's very
is.
reminiscent, particularly if it's a poor country, particularly if the people in that country are brown or black. Yeah, he
Wait a
has
minute.
no.
As you guys, even though this is my podcast, as the resident Hispanic here, okay, I'm gonna tell you, she doesn't speak. I don't know. I think she's from Central America. She doesn't speak for Hispanics and Latinos at all. Okay, I don't know this woman. She swears she's a Republican. She's not a Republican. She's not a conservative. I don't know what she is other than Trump deranged. All right. No, ma'am. No mas. And no, we do not allow people in this country just to come over and not assimilate. Okay, I don't care where they're from. I have family members from Cuba and they're American. Okay, you are supposed to be happy that you come here. Okay, you're not supposed to come here and say, no, I still want my country to be great. Then go back home and make it great. Go back home and fight and make it great. Other than that, you will assimilate to American culture. Okay, black people here, white people here, everybody is here. And I also don't want to hear about this whole, oh well, it's only black and brown people. No, Donald Trump revoked all those Ukrainians back up in March. Oh, you thought I forgot? Meek, don't forget anything. I don't forget anything. You guys, they like to gaslight. Period.
This is a culture-wide thing. This is a culture-wide thing. I mean,
these phrases are thrown around all the time, and group slurs are a bad idea, but we get toxic masculinity, the patriarchy's wrong. Like, we are all shorthanding a lot of
is the
slurs.
patriarchy wrong or not? I don't know. I mean, but look, I don't think those are the same. I don't think those are the same thing. There are 59 people who have committed fraud. There has been a lot of fraud in these pandemic era programs. 3,500 defendants charged, billions of dollars. Donald Trump, literally in the last week.
And I'm glad she brought this up. All the black people down in Atlanta that did the PPP loan fraud, all of them are in jail, right? The Somalis can get it. Okay. No American said, hey, I mean, I know y'all did fraud, but y'all should get a break. No. We say, everybody said, oh, yeah, we knew y'all were going to go to jail for them PPP loans. Okay. We knew y'all was scamming. Okay. If you like me, you got family down in Miami, you know they scam down in Miami. Okay. So at the end of the day, we were okay with Americans going to jail for scamming. Do you think we are going to go cape for Somali? No, absolutely not. Basuda. This woman is trash, and so is the rest of Abili's panel. Now let's get into this. Okay, this is breaking news because Donald Trump he's on a roll. I'm telling you right now, he's on a roll with this immigration. He's now down in New Orleans. Okay, the New Orleans. Okay, he's down there, and CNN broke that this morning. Here we go.
We have some breaking news coming in. The Department of Homeland Security has announced moments ago it is launching a brand new immigration crackdown in New Orleans now. According to a federal law enforcement official, immigration authorities are aiming to arrest up to 5,000 people, which would be hundreds more than what we've seen in Chicago. This across a zone extending 80 plus miles northwest to the state capital. CNN's Ryan Young is in New Orleans this morning as this is about to unfold. Ryan, what are you learning and what are you hearing there?
Good morning, Katie. As you can imagine, people are terrified. They are scared about what this will mean for their life. Look, we're in one of the neighborhoods that's outside toward the tourist city center. One of the reasons why we want to show you this is the impact is already being felt. This taqueria up here decided to close its doors because not only they're scared for their customers, they're scared that for their workers as well. And you see signs like this one. Everyone is welcome here except ICE. And then you see this right here. Do not have consent to enter this business unless they have a valid judicial warrant. So you see these signs from the community already out here. We'll show you this protest that we shot the other night. People making their voices heard throughout this city. They are concerned about the actions that could take place in the next 24 hours or so. On top of that, what they also have been telling people is almost treat this like COVID. Instead of going out for your day-to-day necessities, stay inside, shelter in place. The hope here is that they feel like they might be able to sort of outlast the actions here by Border Patrol.
You won't.
No one knows exactly where they're going to be over the first 24 hours, and that's something that has a lot of people concerned. We even talked to the mayor-elect, someone who hasn't taken office yet, about the actions that could be taking place in this great American city.
What they're seeing on TV and reports that they're seeing is not that Border Patrol is going after the most violent criminals. You know, that's not what they're seeing. What they're seeing is what appears to be racial profiling of brown people, and then going after these individuals and treating them like they are these significantly violent offenders.
Something to mention here, the mayor-elect hasn't taken office yet. That doesn't happen until January. She's the first Hispanic mayor in the city's history. But something that other folks are talking about, especially in the crime space, is the fact that people here in this state can carry guns. You don't have to have a license to carry concealed weapons here in this state. And they're concerned if somebody jumps out with a mask, could they be responded to with someone shooting because they were in fear of their life? So there's a conversation about keeping everyone safe, not only the Border Patrol agents, but obviously the people in these neighborhoods. You look at the crime numbers year to date, the numbers are actually down in terms of total crime and murders.
Oh my God, the whole Democratic talking point again. Here's the thing about that. You guys did not care about masks during COVID. Okay, everybody could wear any type of mask. They had the poo shiesty mask on, going into the stores, stealing things. This is what I mean about like the Democrats, right? They will say, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, but you did it already. If Democrats are fussing about it, they already did it. It's absolutely insane. And then to say the crime is down, please. I know plenty of people down in New Orleans, and it's definitely not down. And I want to say this. I think I just may have won a bet because I told everybody that this New Orleans mayor that's coming in was not for the New Orleans. Okay. This person, they're like, oh, she's she's a little bit like a quiet conservative, but she gotta be a Democrat. I'm telling you, I told y'all that this woman right here was not. Okay. She did what she had to do to get elected, but I'm telling you, you're gonna see it at the top of the year. Here we go.
In the city of New Orleans, they feel like they have some positive motion when it comes to cracking down on crime. They are scared that this action will actually have some communities actually not calling 911. It's something that we'll see playing out over the next few days. We'll be here on the ground to check it all out. Kate?
Yeah, positive momentum on bringing down those crime statistics.
Yep. Positive momentum. Yep. Yeah. Like I told you guys, Donald Trump is on a roll. Okay. That's the momentum. That's the momentum we're doing. Okay. Absolutely not. So last but not least, you guys, on Donald Trump's role, okay, is Donald Trump is also cracking down on these illegal CDLs. And where else would he be? Let's go back to Minnesota. All right. Let's go back and see what Elmer Fudge, let's see what he has allowed other than what's already happened with the welfare. Watch what's been happening in Minnesota with the CDL. Here we go.
The focus on Minnesota continues. Minnesota now a target in the Trump administration's efforts to crack down on foreign truck drivers with illegal U.S. commercial driver's licenses. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy also calling out CDL trading providers. Fox 9's Karen Scullin has more on what all of this means tonight. So, Karen, what does the administration mean if we take a step back really quickly? What do they mean when they say illegal U.S. commercial driver's licenses?
Well, right. It can actually mean a number of things, but in a letter to Governor Walz and Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson, a few examples are given of immigrants from Somalia, El Salvador, Ukraine, and other countries where these drivers were issued Minnesota CDLs that are valid for years after their documents that give them the right to work in this country actually expire. We're talking by a few months to even 4 years in some cases. So if they were issued a CDL in, say, 2025, it might be good until 2029, but actually their work papers expire in 2026. And there are many examples given of this. Secretary Duffy saying 1/3 of these CDLs issued to foreigners are actually issued illegally.
So what are the demands now being issued by the U.S. Department of Transportation?
Right. Basically, Minnesota is being given 30 days to comply, meaning revoke the illegal licenses and comply with everything, or federal highway funding to the tune of $30 million will be revoked. Obviously, a lot of money here at stake. And we did just get a statement from DVS. We'll hold off on just a minute for that one, but I did get a statement from DVS, the Department of Vehicle Services, saying a lot of this didn't seem to surprise them. They had actually already done their own audit of the system on these CDLs. They had already identified that some of them, due to a clerical error or some sort of error, were issued illegally, and they have already been fixing these issues. They do contest some of the claims by the feds when it comes to these CDLs that were issued. It also says, moving forward, as required by the U.S. Department of Transportation, DVS has immediately paused issuing these non-domiciled CDLs. We have already begun an additional internal review and will submit an action plan to the feds. So that's what they're saying. Also, we had this statement come in, the chair of Minnesota's Transportation Committee saying it is alarming that the Walz administration has put Minnesotans at risk by issuing CDLs to people who aren't eligible. It has failed at one of the most basic and core functions of government. His administration's sloppy governance has put Minnesotans and trucking businesses at risk, and now over $30 million in federal highway funding. So obviously just
a lot at stake here, Simone.
Yeah, and Karen, the feds are also cracking down on CDL training in schools. What does this look like?
Right. In a related but kind of a separate issue, there are accusations of falsifying or manipulating training data, not meeting required curriculum standards or instructor qualifications. There are about 18 locations that have put on notice by the feds. However, several on that list that we actually spoke to either weren't aware of the claims against them or don't even do CDL training. The administration did acknowledge that some of them might not be training right now. So really that part of it is just a little unclear, just really a lot to figure out on this one.
Yeah, a lot.
And it's not a lot to figure out. Whoever this guy is right here, he's the real MVP. Okay. Yeah, he's the real MVP because yeah, he's absolutely 100% correct. And that's what, you know, they were trying to say on Abby's show. Okay. But you know, when you got bullheaded reasoning, it's hard to get through logic. Right. And so what the gentleman on that show was trying to say is that what this gentleman is saying. Okay. There's so much going on over there that you gotta go in. You have to go in and get rid of these people in this community. Like it's not towards the person, you know, the individual. Okay. But as a community, they're over there frauding and all types of stuff. Okay. It's just, that's just what it is. That's just what's happening. Okay. Minnesota is giving them not to just Somalis, okay, Ukrainians, Russians, they all coming over here just getting whatever they want. Okay, you got the Indians out there in California, okay. Gamla come and they just look past everything. That's what's happening. That's absolutely what's happening. So yeah, I'm just going to say at the end of the day, this is what the feds need to be doing. Absolutely. I agree with this wholeheartedly, 100%. If you wanted to do right, you would have done right. Tim Walz was about to be the vice president, okay? My guy over there at Abby's show said that. This man would have been the vice president, and he overlooked all of that. He overlooked all of that. He overlooked the Somalis, okay? He's overlooking the trucking companies. He's overlooking the Ukrainians come over here and just do whatever. And that's what most of these Democratic cities are doing. So yes, I support Donald Trump and this crackdown on the garbage. I support it, okay? Basura, get them up out of here, okay? Hasta mañana, they gotta go. They have to go. Because we as Americans we gotta start putting our interests first. Okay, we're over in this country. I am tired of it, and I'm glad something is being done about it. So, with that being said, thank you guys for pulling up. I appreciate you. Let me get to these last few super chats. I appreciate you guys for pulling up. Had a blast. Okay. Thank you so much for the super sticker with B Hunter. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting as always. Thank you. All right. Let me get to the next one here. In my opinion, and this is Taurus Prince. I'm sorry. 499 super chat. Thank you so much. In my opinion, if anything was to happen to my president, all of the left wing media should be on watch list. Man, you want to see a real revolt, okay? They keep talking about January 6th. You want to see a real revolt? Do something to Trump. See what happens, okay? We're gonna get a new government. Best believe. But thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Construct Icon with the 199 super chat. Thank you so much. First time catching you live. Hey, peace. Thank you. I appreciate you. Come back. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'll be laughing at these chats that you guys be putting in the chat. Like I'm just scrolling and I'm just looking at them, and I'm trying to hold my composure. I really am. Taurus Prince with the 499 super chat. Thank you. Somebody get in touch with Dana White and tell him to put me in the cage with David and Harry and Destiny. Let me tell you, they are a sassy bunch, okay? And throw Don Limon in there too, All right. And throw Morris Code, Mark Lamont Hill in there. Okay. Morris Code Lamont, throw him in there. I don't like any of them. They're all nuts to be men. They don't keep frame. They scream and yell. You remember when Mark Lamont Hill was on Piers Morgan? No. Don't let her say it. Don't let her say it. Don't let her say it. I'm like, keep your frame as a man, right? Keep your frame, even if you are upset. Mark Lamont Hill is supposed to be an intellectual. Explain why you don't want her to say something. All that yelling that he does is absolutely ridiculous. It's so sassy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me get this one here. Let's see. Okay, here it is. And this is agency headquarters, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Great show, Mika. Keep cooking. How the kids do it? If I see one more of these on my timeline, I'm gonna, oh gosh. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But I'd rather that than the 6'7". Child. You know, when you reach the age of 25, it's just some stuff you're just like, I don't want that on my timeline. 25 and up is just like, yeah, get it off my timeline. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that supported the show today. I appreciate ya. Let me do a roll call. Him under the car. Y'all in these names. Wow. Thank you so much for pulling up. Construct Icon, thank you so much for pulling up. Robert Guan, I think that says. Thank you so much for pulling up. Echo Jedi, thank you so much. Super Tim, thank you so much. Chavis, thank you. Yin, thank you so much. Agency headquarters, Kayla, thank you. I appreciate you. Melanick, hold on. Menelik, send me an email. I want you to spell that out, like how I'm supposed to say it. Every show, I think for like 10 shows, I'm botching this name, and I don't want to do that. Send it to me. I appreciate you. I really do. You always pull up, so thank you. Outlaw, thank you. How you been, Outlaw? Lone Star Rider, thank you so much. Let's see here. Who else we got in the building? We had Sugar Shane in the building. Thank you so much. Joseph David, thank you. Rodney Letterman, thank you. I appreciate you. Who else? Nicholas, thank you. Patrick Neal, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Trace, I think is Trace Alliston Nerd. Treese Alistair. I think that's how you pronounce it. But thank you, love, for pulling up. I appreciate you. Tyrone, thank you so much. Richard Harris, thank you. Eric Harris, thank you. I appreciate all of you guys. The Genuine CEO, thank you so much. Got Flavor. Taurus Prince, thank you. Who else? Rocks, thank you. Who else we got in the building? I'm just trying to get through some of ya. Thank you so much, Chavis. I appreciate you. Thank you. Agency. Hold on, let me go back here. Agency headquarters. Thank you. I appreciate you for all the super chats as well. Loud and clear. Thank you. Swad Jones. Thank you. I think I might have gotten a lot of you guys in. If I forgot, B Hunter, thank you. If I forgot, I didn't do it on purpose. Lauren, thank you, love. Yeah, and to everybody who called me for the first time, because I see a lot of you saying that this is your first time. And thank you to one of the best moderators, Yakar. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. Thank you, Scoop. Yeah, and if this is the first time you're catching me, thank you so much for pulling up. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Shadow Dragon TV. Yeah, I think I got a lot of you. So, you guys, thank you. I appreciate you. It's been a week. It's been a good week, though. We're gonna have a lot of good things happening in New Year's. Also, different types of videos as well. This channel will be the same, but I'm I'm starting some other stuff as well. So that's going to happen in the new year. I'm going to start doing, some deep dives. So we're going to start doing that. We're just going to start doing a lot of different things because it's expanding, it's growing, and I appreciate every one of you guys. And we're just going to keep moving because that's what we have to do. I am excited, and I hope you guys stay tuned. So thank you so much. It's your girl Mika. As always, I'm out. Peace. Bye.